This presentation is made possible by these amazing individuals and organizations. Whether it was through Patreon, Super Chats, Super Stickers, or by watching, liking, and commenting, I really appreciate each and every one of you. Hi, good morning, guys. How are you? So good to see you this morning. I already see some really cool things happening in the chat. So I'm going to get right to it, guys. We got I've got over 70 pages of slideshow to show you this morning because so many things happened in the last week. And I want to share them all with you because I think it's just pretty incredible that we have so much entertainment coming our way, and so much entertainment right now in flux, sort of in the zeitgeist, and I think it's kind of nice and exciting that we have so much going on. So let me get to the chat and see what you guys are saying in there. The first up we have is 80s made consumer here. Hello, how are you, 80s made consumer? I believe you did this earlier this morning, so I wonder if you're still here. Definitely appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much. And Keith E is here. Says Hooper is confused. Now, if everybody needs to know that Hooper is Keith E's hippopotamus. He says Cooper is confused. He's doing a ride along the ice cream check, but yells out of but yells out, "Book 'em, Dano." Hooper is so adorable. And we have a Unicorn Rampant Studio here today. Says howdy on my bike ride again with the stereo headset on. Doing a bit of picture translating here. So yeah, I will got my two executive producers in the house, Keith E and Unicorn Rampant Studios, and let's see, and let's see, you guys are talking to each other. And Kathy warns, be careful on that bike. It's streets of Pittsburgh, not the streets of San Francisco. Not that it's probably any safer. And Korgoth Killings is here and says, I'm here for the intro. It's my fave. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I do love that intro as well. It is one of my favorite things. I often will catch myself dancing along with the music too. So, and Keith A says, I understand the intro is unbelievable. Oh, thank you guys. And William Blake Hall is here. Says, so here are my problems. One, I agreed with two friends to go see The Flash next Monday. Okay, cool. We're not uh, I'm I'm not doing any kind of spoilers at this point unless the hidden shows up because I think he wants to spoil the movie. But yeah, right now we're not spoiling the movie, so you're safe. I'll let you know though if we do spoil the movie. So I've not seen it yet. Another is that I have to head out in less than an hour for an appointment, but I can still hang out for a bit. That is so cool. Yeah, if you want to hang out for a little bit, that is awesome. I appreciate you doing so. And Ketal Lal is here. Hi, Ketal Lal. Good to see you. Just dropped by to say hi, Retro. It's my bedtime. Oh, thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate that, definitely. Thanks for supporting the channel with a view and a like. And then V is here. Hi, V. Says, hi, Retro Girl. Well, good to see you, V. And Bobby Renee is here. Haven't seen you in a while, Bobby Renee. Hi, hostess with the mostest. And Hungry Jerk is here. Hello, Hungry Jerk. Says, good morning, everyone. Oh, wow. And oh, it looks like you're right on time, Bobby Renee. We're definitely just getting things started. And William Blake Hall says, all hailing frequencies open, Lieutenant Retro. Well, thank you. Uh, I always love that. And yes, William Blake Hall says the International Science Fiction Station looking good. Yes, it is. And thank you for naming it. And it is that is going to be the name of the station. Um, I talked to my bosses and they were like, yeah, then why not? We'll do that for William Blake Hall. So, yes, thank you very much. And Bloodsport One is here. Hello, Bloodsport One. So good to see you. Says hi. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Two good mornings. Can't stay. Gotta go to work. Okay. Well, I do appreciate you supporting. And if you get a chance to come back and watch the replay, there's a lot of stuff we're covering. So I hope you'll be able to enjoy the replay. Uh, and Bobby Renee says, work? What's that? Adorable. We are all unemployed. I have a lot of jobs. Let's just put it. I've got a lot of jobs. I'm very employed. And 80s made consumer says 70 pages. Oh wow, I have to catch the replay about to watch Over the Top with my kid. Oh, that is so sweet. Okay, yes. Over the Top. Yes. That's an 80s classic. Lots of fun. And Bloodsport one says, the stuff I I work for Hot Toys. Oh, wow, cool. Yeah, wow. That's pretty cool. What a cool job you have. All right, so I'm gonna get into it right away. Um, it's so funny because one of the things that I was gonna uh, re- review, I wrote some notes down, and then I accidentally put the put it in the trash. So I had to go in the trash and dig it out. What a day. What a day I'm having. All right, so let me see if I can find, um, just need to find, here. I think this will work. Okay, so let's get it started. I'm going to, oh, let's see, two more comments. Keith E, hello, Talcon, intercomputer busting. Okay, that's a private message between you and Hungry Jerk. Um, this stuff I work for, question mark. Okay, so let's do it. Let's do the thing. Add to the stream. Okay, guys, so much happened over the weekend. Initially, I was going to just review Extraction 2. But then The Flash has become a big um, question mark because The Flash had poor box office numbers this weekend, and some people are like really upset about it. Some people are really happy about it, which is kind of weird. We're talking about over 1,000 people who have worked on this movie, and it's really kind of a shame that that people are cheering the fact that this movie is not doing as well as maybe it should. But I wouldn't know. I didn't see the movie. I do know all of the contents of the movie, however, and I won't blow any of I won't blow any of the details by telling any of you guys that, because that's, we can talk spoilers at another time, but right at this point, because William Blake is in the chat who hasn't seen it yet, so we're going to respect that and wait. But it only hit 51 million for opening weekend, and it was expected to do about 80, 80 to 80, not 85 or something like that million. And so that's a huge dip in what was expected. And so I'm going to just talk briefly about why the Flash has been having some problems um, getting people to the audience to see, into the, I like to say through the door, people getting people in the seats to see this in the theater. Um, and so one thing that we have to remember about this is that and I'm just going to speak about the reviews right now. The reviews are mixed. We've got a big chunk of people saying that this is a good movie, and they enjoyed it and they loved it. And then we have another portion of of moviegoers who have said that they had issues with the story and couldn't really follow it very well. And that's sort of like been a 60-40 mix. So there's been a mix right now. So if you can kind of gather, it's gonna be like an okay movie, right? It's pretty decent. If you've got people who love it, love it, love it, and then people who are just confused by it. So And then we have hardcore fans who are like pissed off by the storyline completely. And so that's always going to be, you're always going to have that. It can't satisfy everybody. But The Flash was announced in 2004, 9 years ago, guys. That was 9 years ago when the movie was first supposed to come about. And after Justice League 2017, um, then Warner Media, that because the company has changed to Warner Brothers Discovery. Back then, it was called Warner Media. They wanted to use the Flash movie as a soft reboot, making Michael Keaton the new Batman and to train a new Batman in eventually the shelved version of Batgirl, which they were going to do a movie on. And then Superman was going to be replaced by Supergirl. And so the new trinity of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman was going to be all female, which a lot of fans did not like. And it didn't really make sense because even with the theatrical Justice League, that they were set up. The Justice League was set up. All they had to do was make another Justice League movie. However, they wanted to make the Justice League movie. But I think with the fact that there was such an uproar about the Justice League movie and how it didn't really make audiences happy, um, they just dumped the idea of the Justice League and wanted to reboot immediately, which was kind of like, wait a minute, whoa, why are you throwing out the baby with the bathwater? Just keep going, and because you are going to make movies anyway. So now, pretty much, yeah. And so in 5 years, multiple directors, Seth Graham Smith, Rick Fumiyawa, and the duo John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein all left the project over creative differences before Andy Muschietti was hired in 2019. And it was ultimately the director. Um, and uh, there's a couple of things that happened along the way. I think we're all, that can be easily forgotten. The film had several promotional teasers during 2020 and 2021, which is like the thicket of the pandemic. But there couldn't really be anything done during that time because, pandemic. And so the movie was originally scheduled to be released July 2022. It was delayed to November, and then again to the more recent timeline, which is June 23rd, last week. So it's been delayed forever, but we've been getting so many teasers for this thing. So we're kind of been teased out, I guess, if you will. We've had so much information and kind of waiting for this movie to come out. So it's been too much, I think, for the public to handle. Overexposure and I would say overwaiting for it to happen. And then another interesting thing, by 2021, Justice League character Cyborg, played by Ray Fisher, left the project due to conflict of interest. And we can get into that, which is uh, there was a huge thing, if you know about it, look it up, between himself and the studio, and was initially to co star in The Flash. Then he became a cameo until he was pretty much written out. I do know that they mention him, but um, he's not actually in the film. That the actor is not actually in the film. And then we had probably the thing that really hurts this film the most. We had some strange reports of the star of the Flash movie, Ezra Miller's behavior, that circulated the press in 2022. The more serious allegations were never really addressed. Now, he was never arrested. Well, he was arrested, apprehended. I believe he had some some dates that he spoke to a judge. And he is in care right now, and he has not been criminally charged with anything. So that's the key thing there. But the other thing is that it was never really addressed. So the public, it really was left to speculate what was going on. The studio never said anything, and Ezra did make an apology, but he never really explained his his behavior. And so, to this day, fans are still waiting for some kind of explanation as to what's going on. Um, I'm gonna get to your comments really soon, okay, guys? I just wanted to finish this little tidbit here. The newly acquired Studio WB head David Zaslav insisted on moving ahead with the Flash movie, even though we've had all these problems. He saw the movie and thought it was wonderful and wanted to move on with it. However, he did shelve the Batgirl movie, which enraged fans who wanted to see this version of the Batgirl, wanted a Batgirl movie. There's a huge fan base for her, and also a fan base for a lot of people who wanted to see Leslie Grace play the character. The film was the Flash film was actually leaked several times on Reddit and a couple other places a year ago. Pretty much exactly the film that is on screen was leaked. I saw a script of it. I had it read to me by a a certain YouTuber, and it was very much the same. The only thing that really didn't change, the only thing that wasn't certain was the ending, how they were going to end this film. And definitely there had been many changes along the way, but the main focus of the storyline was leaked over a year ago. So many people, insiders, fans, or super fans, had already found out about what was going to happen before it happened, and that's a sad situation. I think they tried to throw some surprises in there, and yeah, whenever we talk about spoilers, we'll talk about that stuff. Then yes, so in order to kind of counter that, there were massive reshoots with many of the Justice League characters, and people had had recorded certain things. Even Henry Cavill had done a lot of work in there, but according to some people, like I think some scenes were cut out. So it was very unfortunate that there were a lot of reshots uh, that didn't even make it into the film either. Some of them made it in, some of them didn't make it. Then it was announced that I believe it was November of 2022 that James Gunn and Peter Safran were announced as new DC heads at Warner Brothers, meaning that they would take care of any DC films um, and have their own or that were contained in a universe. And so James Gunn announced immediately that he would not be using Henry Cavill as the new DC Superman moving forward. And that really made the fans really angry and kind of confused, because we were getting this new Flash film, we were getting Aquaman, and we were getting Flash, but there was no connectivity. Like, okay, well, if Cavill isn't there, then what universe is this? What's going on here? So a lot of people have just been kind of confused as to and upset, um you know that the Justice League has been disbanded before they even got started. They they had their first movie, and then all of a sudden they're being disbanded. So yeah, people were very kind of upset with that, because they wanted a little bit more. And then James Gunn made it clear that he was not interested in continuing the Justice League storyline. So none of the movies prior to his Superman Legacy movie, which will be coming out in 2025, I believe, would really not be mattering very much at all, if at all. And going forward, the only character that may carry forward is Beetle and maybe a few other people from his Suicide Squad movie. That and what was the other show? Peacemaker and the Peacemaker show. So anything he had to do with before, they're definitely going to continue forward with. And so he listed his slate. So everything on the top shelf of this slate here is was pretty much not his universe, and they were pretty. I think movies that a lot of people were wondering should they even bother going to the movies to see, because if they're not going to be part of this universe, well, why bother? Why bother? I'm gonna see what you guys are really talking it up in the chat. Also, before I go any further, I would like to acknowledge this wonderful super chat from V. Thank you so much, or super sticker. Thank you so much for the super sticker. And I will give you a very let's see if we can get you a thank you here. Right. Oh man, I do love that. Okay, so thank you so much, V. I really appreciate it. Let me see. Um, let's see. I'm gonna go back up. I don't want to go too far up. And William Blake Hall says, I got to catch up on these extraction movies. Yes, they're really fun. The first one was really good, and I'll talk about the second one. I thought that the second one was really good. It's much better, but yeah, the second, and you don't need to see the first one to see the second one, but they're both entertaining and fun, in my opinion. They are a bit brutal though. They are a bit brutal. Ellen Blake, I unconditionally like a time acceleration stories and going to theaters with old friends. So there's a flash in my future. Oh, that is so sweet. I love that. That's what. Yes, that's what going to the movies can be about. Like spending time with family or spending time with friends, or just enjoying something brand new. Um, and William Blake Hall says, compared to their rate of this movie has been coming out, I feel like the flat. If we all feel like the Flash, yeah. I mean, it's just been a long road for this movie. And Hungry Jerk says, does the Flash have stupid one-liners like "I'll be let back"? There's a lot of comedy in the Flash, and maybe there's some um, there's some inappropriate humor. Yes. And Bobby Renee says he's irritating. Oh, you mean the Flash? Um Oh, yeah, okay. And the fat comic book guy is here. Hello, fat comic book guy. He says, Flash, he saved every one of us. Oosh, wrong Flash. Absolutely, wrong Flash. But a great Flash. I like Flash anyway, the character. He was fantastic in the Zack Snyder's Justice League. So he was redeemed for me in that movie. And William Blake Hall says one of my favorite time acceleration movies is All the Time in the World by Arthur C. Clarke. It's short, sweet, and unforgettable. Go check it out. Okay, I will. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna jot it down after. I usually do a rewatch of this, so I'm gonna jot it down afterwards. Um, and Keith E says, don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you, Keith E, for reminding everyone. And Danny Staten says, greetings from South Carolina. Oh, yes, greetings from the International Science Fiction Station. Thank you. Just happily hovering above Earth. William Blake Hall says, says, hey there, South Carolina. And William Blake Hall says, suddenly I wish Yvonne Craig had been cloned. Oh, who's Yvonne Craig? Meet Yvonne Craig at San Jose Toy Show 6 years ago. She was nice. Who's Yvonne Craig, guys? I don't know who she is. Uh, and let's see. Okay, Bloodsport's got to go. All right, thank you, Bloodsport, for hanging out with us as much as you did. Appreciate it. Um, and Unicorn Rampant Studio says Arthur C. Clarke is great stuff. I've read everything, including some of his co-authored books. Oh wow, really? Wow, you guys are just um so awesome, and you guys are learned. Is what I would say. And William Blake Hall says, Unicorn, yes, so much of what we take for granted today begins with Clark. And Unicorn says, absolutely. Beautiful day. Agreed. And then William Blake Hall says, it'll be nice to go out, and I wish I didn't have to be. Oh, so is it a beautiful day there? It's really quite hot here, but it's nice. 81, partly sunny. Um, and William Blake Hall says, "Hey there, I'm Dennis Quaid or even Doug." Oh, where's that from? I'm catching up with you guys. And Angry Guys Jerk says, "In middle school, we had a club called Filbo Bilbo. We read the book and then see the movie, then have discussions, all sci-fi stuff. Oh, that sounds really cool. In middle school, man." Yvonne Craig, original Batgirl girl from 1960s. Oh, I should have known. Batman show with Adam West. Yes, I should have known. Absolutely. Sorry about that, guys. Somebody's gonna revoke my nerd card for that one. And let's see. Okay, so then now that the movie, as close to coming out, they've been very silent about anything to do with Ezra Miller, and they've decided to do. Oh, and by the way, just wanted to say hi to Michael Quaid. Hello there. I missed your message there. How are you today? Good to see you in the chat. And so they've been really quiet with Ezra Miller, but using like Sasha Kaye and Michael Keaton to kind of promote a lot of the stuff. And another tactic they used was having a lot of celebrity endorsements, like Tom Cruise um, and Stephen King. And even James Gunn came out and said that his favorite superhero movie this year besides his own movie, was The Flash. And there've been a lot of people touting about The Flash. And like I said, Zaslav liked The Flash even when he first started um, with the company, and so it was getting a lot of big names of people um, really giving this thing great reviews, great uh, right away. And so we also heard about, like, the last 2 to 3 weeks, a lot of free screenings. There have been a lot of free screenings, and lots of people on the internet, saying, "Hey, look, I got this free screening," and I'm just like kind of surprised at how many screenings those screenings were packed with people. They had people lined up around the block to see these screenings, and at one place they turned a whole bunch of people away. And so my question is, with all of these, I've never seen anything like this before. So many free screenings. They pretty much gave away this film. And so you would think that the first weekend, those people would come back for second viewings. They had already seen the film. So that's another piece to why the box office numbers weren't so good. Now, right now, I'm just really, I just went through all the reasons why I think that the box office is going to why it suffered this weekend. But we may get an uptick. We may get an uptick along the way. So I wouldn't consider The Flash completely out of the game yet. The earnings will be low, but we still have international. We still have several weeks left of it being available. So hopefully it will make up some of the numbers. But opening weekend is really a huge piece of it. Now, being that they never addressed the whole thing with Ezra Miller, there's a lot of people who are just not gonna go see that movie because of that of Ezra Miller, and you can't convince them to go. So that's that's you know that's pretty sad because there's a lot of people, other people who worked on the film besides him. But I respect everyone's decision, whatever it is, whatever it may be. Now I'm having concerns about Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom. The test screenings so far have not been kind. They have not been kind. The word on the street and for a lot of test screenings is that it's not very good, but there is potential there. Um, but and they have done a lot of reshoots. This is another one that has also been just along the same path with the Flash, with being delayed and being kind of like anticipated to forever, like just completely like we're waiting and waiting and waiting for Aquaman, and it's just the excitement for it is gone. Not too many people are very excited for this. So this could be very disastrous for Aquaman. I really hope not. And then Blue Beetle, again, is the first character that is going to be part of James Gunn's DCU. But the thing I wonder is, will people come out to see it in the movie theater? It's possible. It is very possible that this could do well. Again, there's no way to tell, but since it is part of his, going to be part of his universe, there may be more people incentivized to go see it. Um, and the director of the Flash movie, Andy Muschietti, it was announced that he is going to direct the Batman movie that will be in Gunn's DCU. And that is The Brave and the Bold, which is very interesting. And congratulations to him that he was able to secure that before this weekend's numbers came out. Because you know how Warner Brothers has been notorious for just, bailing on things if it doesn't make a certain amount of money. But I think whatever James Gunn wants at DC, whatever he gets it. Whatever it is he wants, he gets. I don't know what that means, but for some reason he's got a lot of pull over there. And then okay, so next, Extraction 2. Man, guys, let me see what you guys are saying first before we get into Extraction 2, because that is putting a huge smile on my face, as you can see. Um, let's see. Okay. Oh, yes. Unicorn Rampant Studio put a link for us in the chat for all the time in the world so we can see. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Uh, Bunches. And let's see. Bonzo Kilborn is here and says everybody has to say they like it, whether they mean it or not. I don't know, but there is a rumor out there that Tom Cruise is having some issue with his IMAX viewings of his movie, and so in order to get some of those seats or some of those viewings, he had to do that. He uh, had to create a deal between Warner Brothers and himself so he can get some IMAX viewing. So I don't know if that's true or not. That is a rumor. But it would be very interesting if it were. If he was lying, though, it makes me question his. I'd be very. He's right now. Everyone loves him because of what he did with Mission Impossible 2. Not Mission Impossible 2, but what he did with um, somebody help me in the chat. Help me, help me, help me, help me. What was that one? Maverick. Top Gun Maverick. There we go. The brain, it deleted everything and then it brought it right back up. reboot right there. Yes, Top Gun Maverick. He's been sort of the darling of Hollywood and of the fans out there, movie going fans, because we're like, oh, he brought back cinema again, brought back the cinematic experience of going to the theater again, and let us know everything was okay. And so it's kind of weird. I hope he's not lying. I hope he's telling the truth, because that would really put a stain on his credibility, to be very honest. Um, and Bobby Renee says, "Not me. You're not going to see this flash, huh?" Um, and let's see. And Hungry Jerk says that went to a screening of a movie with John Provost, Timmy from Lassie, free movie, popcorn, soda, free beer, free beer. beer. That sounds cool. Um, and wow, Lassie. Um, let's see. And William Blake Hall says, but can Aquaman match how cool Namor and Talokian were in Wakanda Forever? Uh, and William Blake also says, "I'm still stunned that Batgirl got turned down. All this other data is washing over me." Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Um, and let's see. El Necron is here. Hello. Can't wait for Retro to see The Flash. I can't wait to either. I think I'm going to enjoy it a lot. It's right up my alley. It's my kind of stuff. I like goofy, the goofy stuff too. And like I said, I'm willing to give it a shot. Um, and let me keep going. Let's keep going. And all right. Um, so, Extraction 2, guys. Oh my God. I can't tell you that I loved it. I absolutely loved it. This is the kind of movie. I don't know why this is not in theaters. I have no idea why this is not in theaters. No clue why this is not in theaters. It is the like action, 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 action. It's so good. Let me see if I can get my notes here. Um, I've got a whole bunch of notes, guys. Let's see, all my notes here. Um, the main character's name is Tyler Rake. In the first movie, he got shot in the neck. Don't worry, you don't have to see the first movie to follow what happens in Extraction 2, because they do a little bit of back and forth, as far as like what we call like um, a few shots to kind of fill you in. Okay, so he was washed up on a beach in Bengali and airlifted. He's saved. He's in a coma in the beginning of it. I'm not doing any spoilers, but there's this whole rehabilitation sequence that is amazing and fun. Kind of reminds you of the 80s action film kind of stuff. There's a lot of 80s and 90s actiony stuff here, as far as um, the pacing and storyline. They don't get too deep into anything. It's surface level, very surface level. Um, but the characters are true to who they are, and and the action is pretty incredible. Uh, so we have Chris Hemsworth playing this character, which I think he was amazing at. It's so good to see him in something like this, and he's really an untapped resource. We've relegated all of these really amazing actors to do superhero movies, but like something like this is like a spy it's not quite a spy thriller, but it is a thriller with a lot of gunplay, gun fu, if you want to call it, that stuff that you see in John Wick. And that's because it was directed by Sam Hargrave, who was a former stunt coordinator and stunt man, did a lot of MCU films. and now he's a turned director. This is his second film. Um, so last time it was all taking place in India, and there was some controversy as to, oh, we have this guy coming in and helping, saving the Indian child. But now at this time, it's being taken place in Georgia and Russia, basically, and it is really, uh, uh, really like the tension was crazy. You know how when the tension in a movie makes your hands cold and you're like, "Oh my god, what is gonna happen?" That was me from minute 1 all the way to the end. Just incredible. So, Idris Elba is also in this movie, and he plays the part of a stranger that just shows up out of nowhere. And it's really quite interesting. I mean, we have like this picture. I mean, he's messed up really bad, and this is from the first movie, kind of carrying over to the second. He's really messed up. So Idris Elba comes by after, and tells him, "Hey, I've got a job for you," and the job is actually paid for by Rake's ex-wife who has a sister, and her sister has had a relationship with a drug lord, or yeah, a drug lord in Georgia, and so that drug lord has some prison time. And so somehow he was so selfish and wanted to have his family with him that he had the family go to the be in the prison with him. And so naturally the sister wants to get her sister and her kids out of there. And when they show you this drug lord, I mean, he is nasty. Okay, now he's not as bad as his brother. His brother is the nastiest piece of work ever, and it is just like so juicy, all of the events that go down. So I'm not spoiling anything by telling you any of this stuff. It is just like super, super good. The tension is high. There's a riot scene in the prison that's just sick, and they do this whole thing where it looks like one shot, and it goes on for like 20 minutes or so of just this one shot, and it's just action. So crazy. I loved it. I loved it, loved it, loved it. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Uh, and what's happening here? What's happening here? Bobby Renee says, I imagine watching a movie with a new girl, giggling, laughing, and crying the whole time. And Hungry Jerk says, gonna see the new Indiana Jones movie. Okay, it'll be the first run movie I'll see since The Force Awakens. It better be good. Oh gosh, I need to hear what you think about it, Hungry Jerk. Uh, this is cute. By Renee. Jerk, here's a spoiler. Hungry Jerk says, spoil it. Indiana Jones is old. You guys are so funny. And Maddie's daddy is here. Hey, great to see you. How are you? Says, good morning, beautiful. Thank you. Oh my God, my first blushing moment for today. Thank you so much. And Bobby Renee says, I don't want to be a trick. And William Blake Hall says, my greatest hopes are for Oppenheimer. Right? Um, that is looks like it's going to be incredible. Oppenheimer, Dune 2, I'm so there for it. And for me, Rebel Moon, and we're going to talk about Rebel Moon because it's I'm super, super excited. El Necron says, people get so upset over made up movies. Funny. Yes, it's true. Yeah, it's true. Um, and yeah, it's just fun in the movies, right? Um, Maggie has uh, too much confidence. Really? Uh, let's see. Maddie says Idris Elba enters the scene and says, "Thor, you were needed in." Oh my God, I didn't even think about it. Yes, yes, because they were both in that movie together. And it's been a long distant memory, to be very honest, but still cool. Thank you for reminding me that those two work together. And the Dark Knight is here. Hello there. How are you? Says, hey everyone, really like this movie a lot. Extraction too, wasn't it good? I mean, it just had like an old flavor, but new to it, and I just did love it. And like says it says greetings, and just love the fact that you guys are making friends in the chat. And it says the Dark Knight says that one scene felt like a video game. It was awesome. Well, didn't it have so much energy? Oh my God, it had so much energy and it was like it wasn't stopping. It was not stopping. And when it did stop, I was like, "Oh, what is going to happen now?" It was wild. It was wild. And it went right into that, into another action scene, sequence, right? On the train. It was like another crazy action sequence. So amazing. Ah, loved it. And his daddy says Indiana Jones and the wheelchair ramp up too. Oh no. Well, I do hope it was an entertaining movie. I just it's not my I think I'm good with in the first three movies and the rest of them are you know I'll leave that for other people to enjoy, but my jam is the first three movies. And Unicorn Rampant Studios, thank you so much for the $7 super chat. The swoosh, whoosh, wish. RNG combat sound effects. Yes. There was a lot of that in here. A lot of crunching, a lot of like, I mean, and just so many, so many things happen in this movie. I urge everyone to see it and make your own decision, of course, whether you like that stuff or not. And I know action movies isn't for everyone. And a warning, it is brutal. Some of the stuff that happens is brutal. It's brutal, guys. It's brutal, but I have to say it's really it's put in a context where like, yeah, that kind of this kind of thing happens, in this world. It's a dog eat dog world for sure. And I wanted to get you um you're special. uh, thank you. Thank you so much, Unicorn. Yay. And Hungry Jerk says, I just watched The Last Crusade and the Crystal Skull the other day for the first time. I like them. Yeah, I mean, the Crystal Skull wasn't bad. They had a lot of interesting ideas, but the only thing that really was, I mean, there were two scenes that really took me out of the movie. And that was the monkey swinging thing. That took me out of the movie, and the ant scene as well. Those two things, I'm like, really? But otherwise, everything else was the aliens and all that didn't bother me. I rather liked the storyline. We did all sorts of wild and incredible things with Indiana Jones. He finds like the most interesting relics. So I didn't mind the space aliens, but I did have a problem with those two special effects scenes. Um, Danny Staten says Indiana Jones and the Walker of you guys are so mean. the dark side. I says Oh, it's very brutal. Lots of gratuitous, gory violence, but I loved it. Yeah, I I'm a pansy, okay? I mean, I'm like, oh no. But this movie allowed me to get into the brutalism that happens in the movie. There's a reason for it. It's not just doing things for the heck of it. It's the mentality of the brutality of, these people, and it's telling a story while being brutal, and that's something that I think a lot of, movies need to know, that you can't just have violence, you have to have a reason for it, and this movie, definitely gives you a good reason for that violence, you know what I mean? Um and William Blake Hall says, still going on the 7 years, $7. Yes, thank you for noticing. Yes, that's so sweet. I really appreciate that. And so Extraction is like Total Recall, but in present day. Oh, I would say it's more like Rambo. It's more like Rambo. But like Rambo was already had like um like had a whole bunch of steroids souped up in it. This is like the modern day version of it because this guy is sort of he's damaged, um, a damaged man, but he's got some morals and a code, and he's trying to find his way through life in a weird way. He actually, what I realized about this movie is that he really actually does enjoy what he does because he doesn't have anything else to rely on. He enjoys doing this. Because he makes a decision to get back into the business when he didn't have to. Um, and Unicorn Rapid City says, "Yep," and William says, "From Rambo to Rake." Yeah, I would think so because Total Recall is like more heady and more gives you more of a flavor for like futuristic ideas. It there's definitely more intellectual ideas going on in Total Recall. Um, uh, but I think there is like a touch of Total Recall's brutality, like especially that room where they're the last portion of the movie where it gets kind of brutal. That brutalism that's in that movie. But here it's definitely I feel like it's more like Rambo because there's more reasoning behind um uh that's related to this character that's related to this character in particular. And again, they don't go deep into his character as who, but you get a great flavor for who he is. And there is I forgot the name. Let me see if I can find it. What this girl's name is. Um she was in the first movie and played a vital role. I believe it's called Yaz. Yaz, is it Yaz? Uh, oh, I thought I wrote down her name somewhere here. Ooh. Yeah, I forgot her name. I thought it was um I forgot her name, but everybody has like there's another person named Yaz, but I forgot her name. But she was in the first movie, and here we get to see her do a little bit of action, and I think she has a crush on Rake, to be honest. She has a lot of emotional ties to him, and so they're playing upon that, but not too much. This isn't there isn't going to be a happy ending here for the two of them to be, um, to be partners in they're just partners in crime as far as this stuff goes. They aren't building up a huge romance. This isn't going to turn into a Harlequin or Hallmark romance movie anytime soon. It's just really done very well. She's trying to break in also to into his character, and he's sort of like standoffish. I mean, and she's trying to break through his armor. And she kind of does in a way. And this is our opportunity to kind of dig deeper into his character, but it's not, it doesn't take up all the story. We're here for the action, and the writers know it. They know it. So this is the family that he has to rescue from the prison, and my gosh, it is insane. These pictures look very tame as to all the stuff that is going on. Yeah, he gets lit on fire. This is in the trailer, so I'm not revealing anything too much, and it's just uh pretty awesome. I had so much fun with it. And this guy here is the son of the of one of the bad guys, and that probably would be my weakest link. This actor is really good. However, the storyline that they have built for him is a storyline I saw coming a mile away, and it was too predictable for me. And I was just sort of like, yeah, I know what's going to happen here. And that's pretty much all I will say about that without like completely ruining it for anyone who hasn't seen it. This guy, okay, this guy, his name is Zorab, and he is the brother of the uh, the sisters, um, the sister's sister sister's brother or whatever. Well, anyway, his brother is the drug lord that is in prison. There we go. It's the best way to explain it. And he is a nasty piece of work too. He's the nastiest piece of work in in the entire story. But he gets a backstory, guys, and it's good. It's juicy, so you get to know why he became a sick psychopath, and it doesn't change the fact that he is one. You don't like him, and he's brutal. He's horrifying, how brutal he is. You just can't trust this guy. And he's played by Tornike Goriciani. I think I have a Gorgoriciani. And he needs to be in more stuff. They have incredible makeup on him where he has these scars, and they even put like red contact lenses in his eyes. He looks really terrifying. It looks like he's been through a lot, and it's just wonderfully done. All I can say is see it, see it. It's really good. If you're one of those people who are just not loving what's happening with the action genre in Hollywood right now, and you're like, "Ooh, I need a good action movie," this is a great opportunity here. Um, if you liked John Wick, you definitely might find something that you can attach to with this film. So, great recommendation from me. And there's the director there. He has another cameo in the film. The first time he played someone who unfortunately met his end in the first movie. This time he plays a grave digger. So we're looking forward to Extraction 3, where he plays yet another mysterious character, probably a barista or something. And so Extraction 1 gets an 8.1 from me, but Extraction 2 gets a 9.0. I told you that I did have some problems with a few details in the plot to do with one character. The actors were wonderful. The action was insanely good, and definitely, will rev things up for you if you are looking for an action movie to watch right about now. And next, we've got Secret Invasion Episode 1. Guys, I saw this morning. Uh, Disney, they released their movies, their TV shows, it seems, um, at such a weird hour, like 3 o'clock in the morning or something. And I don't mind it so much, but it gets to be a little bit much when you're like, okay, I need to be on air in a few hours, and so I had to get up a little extra early to watch this. Before I get into this and Secret Invasion, let me see what you have to say. Not very much, but let's see. Rejoice says, as a nerd in the 70s, I was laughed at. Yeah, me too. Put down, kicked on, and made to feel inferior. Now geek is chic. We triumphed finally. Yes, yes, Hungry Jerk. I totally agree with you. I remember a young lady was making fun of me one day, and she was like, yeah, she just did not understand what what fantasies were, and that that I was a nerd, and she did not like it. She did not like the nerdy. And William Blake Hall says, true enough, but only do we need all of these comics-based movies? And I agree, we need to expand. We need to expand. I want the comic book movies, but I also want other movies. And I think that's the reason why comic book movies are being judged so harshly nowadays, is that we don't have enough um of other movies too. We need it all, and we need studios to put their money to those movies. I think that's the other thing. A lot of smaller studios are opting for more fun, smaller ventures. I mean, like I was saying this the other day. Like, when was the last time we saw a really good comedy? I don't even do comedies anymore. Action thrillers. We get one every so often. Like I said, Extraction should have been in theaters. Hungry Jerk says, I see one superhero movie, Batman '89. That's enough for me. Ah. And William Blake Hall says, RNG, thanks. Yes, we do need the full nerd spectrum, not just comics. Yeah, I agree. Like, I mean, it's just been kinda hard, like, and the only movies that you get to see nowadays, with big budgets is the Secret Invade like, the Marvel movies or the DC movies, and it would be just nice to get a movie about a character doing a thing, um, or even a vampire movie. When was the last time you saw a good vampire movie, guys? With a big budget? Come on, Hollywood. Now, Secret Invasion, episode one. Just saw it a few minutes ago, and so it's still fresh in my mind. Um, let's just say this. I'm not gonna get too bad into it. Where is my? Oh no, no, no. Um, I have notes. Of course, I have notes. I take notes for everything. I have notes, guys. Let's see where I put my notes. All right, Secret Invasion. Now, to be very honest with you, I did not see the Captain Marvel movie. The Captain Marvel movie would you could say that would be the preemptive movie to see before you see Secret Invasion. It's sort of like not really required watching, but it's where you can see where the storyline began. However, I do know a lot of the contents of that movie, and I feel as if I'm catching on pretty well. Like I'm not completely in the dark. Um, so they do give you a small backstory, and I do like the way it began. Um, it began with a narration of someone by the name of Agent Prescott speaking to an agent. And what I love about his little monologue was that he was really setting things up as far as like, you know, do you believe or do you trust everything you see and hear that's happening in the media? And also, then put it back into the storyline, which kind of makes sense for today, right? So we're all kind of agreeing, like, oh yeah, that's true. But then it starts talking about the storyline where he says, "You do you even know that the person next to you is really who they are?" Because these aliens called Skrulls can take on the shape of anyone. And this is really um, kind of an interesting storyline as far as um, there are two different factions of Skrulls. There's one that wants to work with the humans. They lost their home world, and the only place that they can live right now is either on Earth and share the space with the humans, or I think find another planet. And there are some scrolls that are just like, no, we are going to make Earth our home. And there's some other people who are like, let's try to find other ways to work with the humans. So there's a fight amongst the scrolls that are trying to like figure things out. They're trying to figure things out within themselves. But the bad scrolls, we're called that want to take over Earth, basically destroy all human life and create their own world. They have a base in Russia, and they're planning this really interesting thing where they're trying to devise a war between Russia and America. Now, these aren't really spoilers because this is just story plot set up. They're setting things up here, and so there's like a cool little action chase. It's very low budget. It's not big budget, which is so strange. This is Disney, so kind of expecting big budget here. Very small budget. Everything is grounded. Everything is very like average, everyday man kind of thing with a few interesting moments of special effects. Nothing grand. Nothing grand. A lot of changes, a lot of transformations with the scrolls or in the shape of human beings, and they can take on any shape. But that's done. They're using like cheats where they're doing like people pass by walls and then they change. And I thought that some of that was interesting. Some of it was like some of it was interesting. Some of it was a little cheap. Um, they don't actually show you any of the transformations that really seem like they would be interesting to see, which is fine. Because I grew up in a time when you didn't see all of that. You kind of a lot of things that were implied were more interesting. So that's fine. There is uh, let's see. I'm gonna see what you guys are saying. Okay, yes, I got that one. Where was I? Okay, there we go. Maddie's daddy says, when was the last time we had a movie like A Few Good Men? Are you okay? When was the last time we had a good drama, thriller, drama, or anything where you think, complicated situations? We just don't have that kind of stuff anymore. It's like they're not even trying to spend money on it. Those movies don't have to cost $200 million to make either. So that means that you don't have to make that film need to make $1 billion. Like you don't need it doesn't need to make $1 billion. It just needs to be good, you know? And similar to like the original Joker movie. Um i if you took the name out of it and you took the Gotham, the whole um, DC imprint out of that movie and it was just a movie about a guy, I think that's still fascinating and interesting. Where are those movies? And so I do think we need to, get back to basics a little bit. Um, great, great comment there. Um, we need those movies again. Oh, and Jack's here. Hello, Jack. It says hello from Texas. Hello from the International Space Center. Oh, International Sci-Fi center. Um, let's see. And William Blake Hall says, Dagnabbit, Maria Hill was one of the few I really rooted for. Yeah, she's in this. And I won't say what happens, but yeah, I'm kind of disappointed with what happens there. And William Boygal says in 1988, the top grossing movie in America was Rain Man. Oh, about Tom Cruise reunited with his autistic brother, played by Dustin Hoffman. Where have those days gone? Yes, yeah, just a simple drama with really complex ideas. Where are those movies? And they again don't have to be $200 million to make. And Jack says Rain Man also had really good soundtrack. It did, yeah. Um, and where here's another thing. Where are the songs that are made for the movies, specifically for the movie? Like, where are those songs at? Because I'm kind of tired of hearing soundtracks of, you know, of songs that we already have. I already have that album. Wow. Why, what happened to like, like Flashdance and Footloose and all those movies had fresh, brand new songs being made for the film. So yeah, I want those days back. I want that creativity back. So that's what I not days back, but I want that creativity. And William Blake calls it a very sweet sound. I loved all the photos turning up at the end of the credits too. For Secret Invasion. And Maddie's daddy says everything is planned around the green screen these days. It is, yeah. And I don't really mind it terribly, but give me a story. And yeah, like exactly. It's like like if it's like, do we have the green screen and this is where you're gonna be and this is the thing that's gonna happen. But what's gonna happen in here? What's gonna happen in my inside me when I watch this? Like that's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for, guys. We're looking for something to happen. Like watching Extraction 2, I was so excited because it made me feel something. I was scared for the characters. I was scared things were going to happen. I was afraid for the good guys and the bad guys. I didn't know what was going to happen. It surprised me. Um, and so, and Jack says, you wouldn't make Avatar or it's like without a green screen. Yeah, I mean, I think the green screen is definitely uh it's a tool. It's a tool. If you don't have enough money to build a set, but if you do have money to build a set, build a set. I would rather build a set. Uh, or even a matte painting. Even a matte painting. Matte paintings were pretty awesome. I think that put artists to work, and I think that that's an. I hope we don't lose that art. Uh, uh, yeah, matte paintings used to be just incredible. And Hungry Jerk says, the rare times I get intoxicated, I do my footloose dance. Oh, that's so sweet. Yes. Okay. So yeah, she's in it. I would like to say I would love to see more happen with her character. But uh, just there wasn't much. Um, it did. This poster here is very exciting, and it's way more exciting than the actual show was. And this scene hasn't happened yet, but it is in the trailer. But this is a picture of the young daughter. It's her name is Gaia, and she's being played. Oh my God, I can't now. I can't remember her name. Uh, but I didn't really at this point, it isn't hasn't given me enough to really go like crazy about it. So, oh, the one thing though I did like, one thing I did like about this, there is an intro opening that for the show, which I think is very interesting. They used AI to kind of piece this whole thing together. It's like about a minute or so, and maybe 45 seconds. And it looks so good and it's perfect for the idea of these morphing individuals that are kind of in our atmosphere. And so I love the way that visually played out. Um, and one thing I thought that was very interesting is that they had this saying over and over again called, they kept saying, home in my own skin. And I thought that was an interesting saying. I was like, well, that's really cool. Um, the bad guy in the storyline, his name is Grabak. And he's very interesting. He's very interesting. Just not an, we didn't we got a lot of setup of characters for the first episode, and for me, I I really feel like, and this would be my correction to all of this. My correction would be to go at it with a whole, but like sort of how you start off like a James Bond movie with a lot of action. Give me all this action. Bam, 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 all this stuff. Then you find out why the action's happening. Find out what's going on. Because right now we're getting a whole lot of people walking into rooms, talking, having dry conversations, leaving rooms, a little bit of action, right? It's kind of slow moving. And one thing I will say about it is that it's too long, too long, too long, too long. It needs some editing, but otherwise than that, I think. Oh, another thing that I really wanted to um, make a note of was that Nick Fury is the main character here, and of course, Samuel L. Jackson is doing a fantastic job. He's playing like the grizzled old, guy that's sort of like still can get things done, but everyone keeps saying to him that ever since the blip, which is when Thanos snapped his fingers and wiped out half the world, he has never been the same. And they play back a little bit of that for us in a flashback. So something's very interesting there. I like that for the character, that there is a little bit of a character development for him. So I did like that. But yeah, I had criticism. My criticism is that it was slow, it's too long, and it needed a little punch, and it needed a little punchiness to it. I was gonna give it a lower grade, but the thing about it is that 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 opening really did impress me. So I gave it a 7, and it's not terrible. It's got potential, and I think it's too early to really come down too hard on it, because I don't know what's coming up next. They could really knock my socks off in the next episode. So I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chit chat. Oh gosh, where am I? Uh, William Blake Hall says odd movie music story. Survivor had 3 songs for the Rocky movie 4, but Stallone had to leave out the one called "Man Against the World." I accidentally discovered it recently. It's a great song. Oh, really? I have to hear that one. Did you ever see Pirates in 1986, directed by Roman Polanski, starring Walter Matthau in the title role? Not very good, but they did build a real full-scale galleon. I believe I did see that. with Walter Matthau. It had sort of like a bit of a comedic edge to it. And William Blake Hall said, did not see that, but what Matthau could be amazing. The police hero in the original Pelham 1, 2, 3, and Maverick Spy in Hopscotch. Um, and Jack says, Chuck. Uh, don't forget Charlie Varick. And when he says, not seen it, sorry to say. And Fletcher Williams is here. Hello, Fletcher Williams says, hail, Retro Nerd Girl. Hey there, how are you? And let's see. Um, yeah, okay, so I'm gonna move on from that. You know, I've said pretty much everything. I'm still willing to give it a chance and see how it does in the future weeks ahead. I'll be covering it. And there's, I believe, only 6 episodes, so I hope it gets to the point. One thing I do like about it, it is sort of a spy espionage kind of thing, and I do like that. And it's grounded. It's very much on Earth. No superheroes. The Skrulls do have some super strength, but it isn't it isn't annoying or anything like that. It's they pretty much don't use a whole lot of it. And that's it. Now the next thing, Avatar: The Last Bender live action is on gonna be on Netflix, and they released uh a few stills, and I believe there may have even been um, a trailer. I don't have that trailer, but I think it's like there's a teaser out or something like that. But what I did was manage to get some pictures to see what was going on. So there's the new Aang, and I believe his name is Aang. Now I did not have the pleasure of seeing this TV show, even though I've heard so much about it. I know a lot of the storyline. I know about the movie that was done by M. Night Shyamalan that did not work out so well. And one of the problems with that movie, or the things that people had of concern, was that they did not choose the appropriate actors for the roles, and uh, people seem to be more happy with the choice so far. There's no way to tell right now what it's going to be like until we actually see it or see them in action. But so far, people have been liking it. And here's the cast so far. There may have been one or two. I think there's one controversial hire here, and I don't have the full detail of it all, but so far I think it looks pretty good for live action. And I just hope that they do the special effects a lot better than they did with the movie, where people were using their abilities rather slowly in the movie. I hope they're able to convey all of the elements a lot faster, a lot more dynamic than they did in the first movie. So that's just my comments on that. And another thing is that Arnold has been renewed for the TV series Fubar on Netflix. So he gets another season. He's been doing a lot of work on Netflix. So they seem to love him over there. And the thing about Netflix is that they're just taking in a whole bunch of people that have been rejected by Hollywood. And so I'm like, why not? Yeah, I'm all in for Netflix. They're doing really interesting things over there, and I'm becoming a huge fan of the stuff that's going on so far. Um, I may not agree with everything that they do, but definitely looking forward to figuring out some of this FUBAR stuff here, since Extractions got me all excited. So this is more of like an action show, but it looks like it's doing quite well on Netflix. They usually don't renew anything that's not successful on their channel, uh, on their network. So obviously he's got the views. Um, Now Stranger Things 5 hires Linda Hamilton to be a part of the crew for Stranger Things 5. So that's going to be interesting. I would like to know what character she's going to play and all of that. And so it's good to see Linda Hamilton get some work in Hollywood because I think she's another great actress that seems to, like nobody's hiring this girl. I mean, she's amazing. So yeah, good to see that she's working and doing some pretty cool things. One Piece is going to be on Netflix, and I actually have. Let me see if I can do this for you guys. Um, they put out a. Let's see if I can. They put out a trailer this week, so I put the trailer in there for you guys to watch um, when you can. But One Piece is one another franchise or group that I don't know anything about. I believe it was a TV show. I'm not sure, but everybody loves this stuff, this anime, and I don't know anything about it. But it looks goofy and funny and silly and wild, and I can't wait to see what it is. And uh, they're basically attempting to do this in live action. If somebody said do this in live action, I would say, nah, I don't think that's possible. But they're attempting it, and this is the young man who's going to play the main character. And let's see, does he kind of got the spirit of the main character there? Um, and here's some more looks at the cast. There, a cast of very young individuals that will be doing playing the parts in that. So, um, yeah, I like I said, I'm curious. I'm a curious at best. Don't know anything about this, so it'd be fascinating to me. Now the next thing is Rebel Moon, guys. All of a sudden, like Monday, it's just like all of these things just started dropping. They waited until Monday to do all this stuff. But Rebel Moon has a um, really cool. Let me see if I can find it. Yes, a behind the scenes look at Netflix. And let me see if I can get that. At this point, I think Netflix needs to pay me. But what can I say? I'm really loving them lately because I'm like, oh, they have content that looks interesting. Um, Let me see. Netflix, um, Rebel Moon. Okay, yeah, this is all on my own energy, guys. I see something I like it, I share it. Um, so there it is. Yeah, Rebel Moon is going to be on Netflix. I believe it's coming out in December. Um, and they just did sort of a little behind the scenes promo. Not a teaser, not a a um a trailer, which completely appreciate because I do not want to know the contents of this storyline yet. I don't want to know any of that yet because I want to keep my interest high. So here's Rebel Moon. This is the new logo that came out for it. It's gorgeous. Um, and there is a poster for it, which is incredible. And this is the main character. It's going to be a female-led thing. The storyline basically is going to follow much like the Seven Samurai and one of my favorite movies, Mission from Space. Oh, sorry, message from space. And it is a young girl has to go out and find 7 warriors to help save her world. And this is going to be really exciting. This is very exciting and interesting plot point, sci-fi, that is just looks like it's set on a real place. Like a lot of it looks very tactile and real. A lot of the things were built. There is going to be significant amount of green screen because there is a fantasy element to a lot of this stuff. But yeah, it's really exciting to me. This is another one of those characters, and they have something that's a play on, Star Wars, the lightsabers. They are using a hot molten like lava swords that which is really kind of why like molten swords, if you will. So they're incredibly hot metal. And I think that's an interesting way to go about it. They could be very dangerous weapons. And we have these characters. I mean, that's just the design for this character is just sick. So sick. Incredible. Um, all right. And Hungry Jerk says, thanks, RNG. Gotta go. Good. Well, you have a great day. So glad that you were able to hang out with us for a little bit. You take care. And let's see. Yeah, this is just design on this is just costuming already is just driving me insane. Okay. The colors. This character is going to be voiced by oh gosh, who is it? Uh Hob Hopkins or who is gonna let me just check right quick who is gonna voice this one. Anthony Hopkins, yes. Anthony Hopkins is gonna voice this character. We've got like weird alien creatures. We got normal guys like Charlie Hunnam. Uh, there's Ray Fisher as Blood. What's it? Bloods? No, it's not Bloods. I forgot the name. His name. Oh, Blood Axe. Blood Axe is his name. Um, we have some more interesting characters. Just this is gonna blow my mind. I know this is great. Um, and Jack says, Seven Samurai in Space. Didn't Corman do that? Yes. Battle Beyond the Stars has a very similar theme. Yes, a very similar theme. Um, and very similar theme. And then this is just, this is just going to be amazing. Amazing, amazing. I can't wait. I can't wait to see this. And these are all the actors that are going to be in this, uh, in this film. And this is all going to be on on Netflix. I can't wait. I do believe that there might be a few theatrical runs of this, so that way I think they can be a part of the awards ceremonies. Um, when it comes to be awards time. But this, I really hope that there's enough viewings that people can see this on IMAX. And yeah, there's Zach and doing his stuff behind the scenes. I mean, I can't wait to see who these characters are going to be. This is incredible. So yeah, that's it, guys. Oh my gosh. That was one heck of oh no, that's not it, guys. It's not it. Craven the Hunter trailer dropped yesterday. Oh my gosh. Let's see what you got. Jack says this costs more than Corman spent in his entire career. Yeah, it's pretty pricey, and they're shooting one and two at the same time. So that's exciting. So we're for sure getting two films, and I think for me, when it comes to sci-fi and this kind of stuff, like this kind of like intense storyline, um, that where you're going to see two of something. It's from the director. It's from his vision. I get excited for stories like this. I do. So I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. And let me get the link so you guys can see the Craven the Hunter um, trailer if you haven't seen it. Um, just copy and we see. Oh, Keith E says he's still listening and enjoying. Oh, thank you. All right, yes. One more. Let's see, Craven the Hunter trailer. Yeah, it dropped. I believe it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, and or at least I saw it yesterday, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "Okay, now this is a superhero film. It's from Sony, and I believe I had picked up only one storyline with Craven the Hunter, and that had to do with a character. One was it the comic book? I believe I forgot his name. Um, but he is Craven the Hunter. I believe he was always supposed to be part of the Spider-Man universe. And so that's the reason why Sony is using this pretty much Marvel character. And let me see. Okay, I put that in the chat for you guys. And it's really um, and Castella's here and says glad Extraction 2 got good reviews. Oh yeah, it's dynamite. I give it so many it is so good. It is so good in my opinion. It's so it's much better than it has any right to be. Is what I would say. It has no right to be that good. It is good. But again, as a warning, it's brutal. I mean, some disgusting stuff happens in there. Just get ready for that. And that just get ready for that. And Costello says Chris Hemsworth as Hulk Hogan looks interesting. Oh, he's gonna play Hulk Hogan. I didn't know that. And William Blake Hall says looking a bit spidery. Yes, yeah, because he's part of the Spider-Man universe, and so I think it's really he's pretty cool, and that trailer uh, got me excited about it. I always thought that Aaron, that particular actor should get more work because he's not bad. It's just he's actually really good. It's just that he hasn't been in getting a whole lot of um, acting, if you will. Let's see, Craven the Hunter. Um, like Spider-Man has a whole bunch of connected lore, a lot of connected um, characters in his menagerie, if you will. Um, and it's a shame that we haven't really been able to see it. The guy who's playing that character is Aaron Taylor Johnson, and I do believe he needs to be uh, in more things. He's just really I think he's a good actor that's just not being utilized. And I think he got caught in this sort of good looking guy um part where they kind of just, oh, he's just a good looking guy, so we're just going to give him, uh, a little part. But I think he deserves a lot more. I'm trying to think. There was another character that I remember seeing him in that comic book um, as sort of a Tarzan character. that was in that was in the um the Spider-Man universe, and I forgot his name, but I had one of his comic books for a long time, and I can't find it anywhere. But uh, the 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 trailer does go into a little bit of the detail of Craven's background with his father, and that's it. Looks like there's a like his father is going to be the bad guy in the story. So that's gonna be exciting. I can't wait to see that. Um, and of course, let's see who's Russell Crowe is playing his father. That's just it. That's just so thrilling. So I'm excited, guys. I'm excited. This is one of the first times I'm really excited about uh, a um, a superhero movie, because there's something about this that even though it's not quite superhero, it's like he's not a superhero, but there's something supernatural, I guess, going on here. So kind of love it. Kind of love it. The artwork for it is pretty awesome. Um, they matched. They tried to match the comic book so well, and so I'm like, I hope that they're gonna give this character the justice that he deserved. They actually like match him um the story to who he is, and I hope they don't make him a good guy. Um, according, if you saw the trailer, it's pretty gruesome. He does some pretty bad things in that trailer, and I hope they keep him as a bad guy. Um, and well, and William Blake also says he was bitten by a radioactive lion. And Costello says Craven is the Beastmaster of Marvel. Yes, he is. And William Blake also says, anyone know why call that guy's called Rhino? Oh, I don't remember. It was a good reason though. Costello, Scorpio needs to appear in a Marvel film. Oh, I don't know that character. Um, and William Blake Hall says, I need a werewolf superhero. Me too. Me too. Well, Werewolf by Night is supposed to be the one, but did you guys see Werewolf by Night though? That's amazing. It's the best thing that I think that Disney has put out in so long. Um, I love that movie. It came out last October for Halloween. And yes, Costello says Werewolf by Night is from Marvel is great. Yes, it was wonderful to me. Had a really creepy, like had a lot of the Universal Studios old school uh, flavor to it, but somehow they were able to modernize it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Costello says Craven is an anti-hero. Yes, yes, absolutely. And Costello says Rhino turned into a rhino. Oh, okay. That's pretty simple. Oh, Thrash Bundle Bonds is here. Hey, cats and kittens. Oh, so glad that you were able to stop by. And Gazelle says, Man Thing was in Werewolf by Night. Yes, and I'm hoping that we get more of those characters. They were so charming and interesting. I do want more of that content from that world. Want them to explore it more. And I hope that those guys meet up with Blade, and we get something interesting and a little bit edgier from Marvel. And William likes Thrash, hey there. And Thrash, hey RNG, just got out of class. Oh, cool. And Costello says, the other version of Rhino is a Rhino Robotica suit. Oh, okay. Costello, you are educating me on these things. Now, Costello, do you remember a character that was like Tarzan, that was in the Spider-Man universe. He is skipping my mind right now, and I believe his name also started with a K. I used to call I had like 3 or 4 different comics from him, and one character that used to hang out with him, her name was Valeria or something like that. She was a Valkyrie. Do you um, does that ring any bells for you, Costello? Um, and let's see. And Castellar says Tombstone is in Spider-Man, a chameleon character. And William Blake calls us Korak. I think you're right. I think it's yeah, I think so. Wait a minute, let me just check. Because I think you're right because that's the one. He was like blonde and he had a girlfriend. Uh, see, or maybe it was is it Korak? Um, oh, if it's not Korak, it must be. Huh? It might be Korak. I think so. It, I thought he was a blonde. Korak. It might be. It might be Korak. Um, yeah. Yeah, because at some point, I don't know. This guy doesn't look quite the same. I'll have to do some more research. It might be Korak. I'm not sure. Um, and Savage Tarzan character. Yeah. Um, oh, William. Yes, I know about Eric, Son of Thunder. I have his I have a few, not many. And one of the books I loved so much. It was about the fates of time, where they he had that was the episode where I'm sorry, that was the comic book where he changed his hair because he transformed into a different version of himself. I used to love Eric, Son of Thunder, yes. And Trash Panda Ponds, um oh, it's just talking to and let's see. And Thrash says, I actually got a couple of those in my comic book collection. Yes, me too. Yeah, I mean, I don't like collect all of the same thing. I usually like whatever piques my interest, you know. Um, and checked Google, Korak actually created by Burroughs himself, not a comics property. Okay, that then it must be somebody different. It must be a different one. Um, but I thought his name started with a K. So yeah, I'll still be on the hunt. Maybe next time I do the show, I will remember who the character is. But yeah, there was and I do remember he was blonde, had long blonde hair. So that was one distinctive thing about Korak or this character. That but he did have his name did start with a let's see something. Yeah, I'm not getting uh, a a good um idea of who this person might be. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to find out on my time. But I think this is gonna be it for the show today. Um, because yeah, the that Craven the Hunter trailer is pretty incredible. It's pretty Kazar, you nailed it. You nailed it. Yes, Kazar. That's it. You guys, if you haven't checked it out, definitely Kazar. Yes. Kazar was awesome with Zabu the Saber-tooth. Yes, 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 yes. He had a saber-tooth, and then he had a girlfriend who was, and they were always having like, I don't know, there was always something going on between those two. Um, and the one thing I didn't I liked about this was there was sort of a grown-up edge to Kazar. But he faced off with Craven because he ended up in the city one time, and Craven found him and was like, and, it was like a new conquest. Uh, and so yeah, that's cool. You guys know about Kazar? Yeah. Oh yes, I'm with my nerds. I'm loving it. Yes, thank you so much for being going through that process with me and helping me to locate exactly who I was thinking of. Kazar, of course. And so yes, Kazar is. Let me see if I can. Kazar was cool. I remember that one. It's really awesome. I mean, I was just thinking like I want to go downstairs and go to the comic book shop and and buy some comics. And it's like, I think the woman is Shanna. Yes, Shanna. I don't know. I think I may still have those comic books. I know I know that the Arak is at, at least two of those I had and I totally tore it to pieces because I love the Arak Son of Thunder so much. Um, and it was only, I guess, wherever I was at the time, I only could get those two. And it was back in the day where you couldn't just find the comics you're looking for, right? It was like you only had like whatever they could carry. And so I never saw Arak, Son of Thunder again. And I just remember seeing those two and just like flipping through them over and over and over, and they like disintegrated pretty much. Disintegrated. So they're lost to time, but it is definitely um, one of the coolest memories is just looking through comic books and seeing all these comic book characters. So I do understand the thrill that it must be to see these characters in real life and realized in action. Like it's just another medium to to tell what we hope is going to be a similar storyline, and that they will be able to capture the essence of who Craven is in the story. I hope they didn't mess with it too much. I know sometimes you have to change things around, but like I said, I hope they're able to do that. And but it looks like based on the trailer, I think they may have nailed it. They may have nailed it. Um, and oh, what's happening? William says he went on to become master criminal Kazar Koz. Oh, really? That sucks. It was such a good. It was so innocent back then, I guess. Wow, that sucks. Why did they make him a criminal? Well, I suppose, when you're reading the story, it may make sense. So I need to find out about this now. I need to go down another rabbit hole of questions. How did he become this? So anyway, William says, "Sorry, RNG. I'm just making a reference to the movie, The Usual." Oh, okay. Don't tell me the stuff. I will take you at your word. Okay. Thank goodness. All right. Phew. I didn't want Kazar is like such an innocent character. Um, uh, there's a part of him that never really grew up. He's like still um, like he's very like simple. He's a simple person. So this kind of when you said that, I was like, oh no, they ruined the character. But thank you. It's all in good jest. So okay, guys. Well, I am gonna. We've been going for 2 hours exactly, and I think I've covered every story that was out this week. And boy, was it a long list. Next week I shall do, of course, Secret Invasion episode 2. We'll go down this storyline and see if it gets better. And starting off with a 7 bad, isn't bad at all. There, like I said, it was good. Um, could have had some improvements here and there. However, I am still hopeful that the future episodes are going to really come out with some bangers, and we're going to really enjoy it. It looks like a lower budgeted production, which is fine. So there's going to be, I mean, lowered expectation for special effects, but I hope that the story makes up for it. You know, that's where I stand with this. So, um, yeah, this is going to be so interesting to see what they end up doing too. Like when they end up doing. And Thrash Bonapon says, glad to make it for the tail end. Take care, everyone. Oh my goodness, it's so good to see you here. So thank you for putting us in your schedule. Or fitting us in your day, because I know that you have such a busy day. All right, so yeah, I am going to play the outro video, and that should be like about 3 minutes or so for you to leave your last comments. Uh, that means, saying goodbye to the friends that we have in the chat, friends that we made along the way, and also anything that you might have to say about any of the topics we talked about, Kazar, and or any messages you have for me. So I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and thank you once again for joining me this morning. It has been a lot of fun going through all of the topics with you. Without further ado, I bid you adieu, and I'll see you in the next video.
Retro Nerd Girl, you are clear for takeoff.